All right, guys, welcome to Real Talk Football TV. Back again, Tobias and myself. All right, we're going to talk about Chelsea, Tobias, how it's run, what's going on with Chelsea, the statement with Sterling and all of that. To me, back in the day, under Abramovich, it was a winning machine, Chelsea. No matter how bad they were, they always won. Picking up leagues, Champions Leagues, always deep in Champions Leagues or European trophies. They had a ruthless streak in the sense of managers and players. If you're not performing out, next batch comes in, and they usually get the best of the best in class in managers, coaches, players. Now, Chelsea are just a joke, an absolute joke. Watching them against Man City, I know Man City are the best, but what's going on before with the Sterling situation? It just it feels like it's just run really, really badly. And it's never used to be like that.
Well, if we're looking at from the transfers, they've always been kind of chaotic with the transfers, even under Abramovich.
But they would buy the best, though.
They would buy the best. But
now they're just buying anyone.
As soon as it didn't work out, there's quickly to get rid of it. He'd be the first to get rid of them, whether it be loan, reses, or whatever it be, they'd be gone. I think what was weird for me is that watching them against Man City, and I know they're new signings, but new manager, got all the new signings, but very similar team. Like there was no difference.
Nothing.
And I was like, it's a bit weird considering the amount of signings they've made. But I don't know if at the minute the way they're working as a United fan or Liverpool fan, you sort of cling on to the youth like Kobe Mainoo's coming through, etc., etc. At their mantra at the minute is to sell for pure profit, just to buy a new man, and it's just like it don't really make sense.
No, it's bad.
You're selling. It's just like you just have to be signing someone. So I don't know why they're so addicted to signing players and giving them long contracts, because it doesn't make sense. I don't think long contracts work.
Yeah.
Like
hunger's
where's you're not giving them anything to work towards.
Yeah.
Cigars out.
Yeah.
You can't be giving man 5, 6, 7, 8-year contract. It makes no sense.
Well, if you look at Palmer, we love Palmer. We think Palmer's bad. But if you look at it, really, he's had one good season, a breakout season, which is excellent, and no one really knew about him. He's kind of just burst onto the scene. But they gave him a new deal again. So I swear his contract's 9 years now.
9 years, I think, yeah.
9 years. So his life's set. 9 years. So what does he have to? What is the incentive for him to get better or get more money? Well, he's got 9 years now. So no matter what, he's set. His whole footballing career, financially, he's set.
Well, 9 years. It's just, I don't think I've seen contracts like that.
No, it's mad.
So we're suffering from contracts of that length because I think we gave Maguire like a 5 or a 6 year contract. And look at us now. Do you know, like these contracts make no sense? Do you know? But then I think that all works from how when you've got a player in your situation now where you've got 3 players that you basically are up for free.
Our 3 best players.
So it's like they're trying to counteract it by giving them long contracts, but it's not working. It's not the math ain't mathing.
Mathing straight.
Because there's got to be a balancing act for all that's involved, isn't it? I understand that if you've got a player that, because 2 years is crazy, when you're looking at renewing a man's contract and you have to do it after, like before the 2 years, it's crazy. That's where it all comes from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now if you give man a 4-year contract, 2 years later, now you've got to discuss a new deal.
Yeah, straight.
Potentially, they're walking out the door.
Straight. The player has all the power in the world now.
From that ebb, I understand it, but then from the opposite side of it is that humans, youngsters, players. How many players have you seen that have just gone into obscurity? Like it happens in football. I think probably out of all sports, it happens in football the most. where these players are on top of the world 1 minute, next year they're into obscurity. And if you're giving players, I know they're not giving out probably as much money as the Uniteds and the Chelsea of old, but the contract length is all that matters in it, isn't it?
And even if you look at Chelsea, the way they've actually bought, it just feels like they're playing Football Manager.
It's nonsensical signings,
but they've spent nearly over $1 billion, and they still need a striker and a goalkeeper. The two areas are terrible. They've got one of the worst strikers in the league. He's terrible, and the goalkeeper's awful. But you spent £1 billion, and we were talking about it just off air about the caliber of strikers. I was watching the Leicester Spurs. I thought Solanke was okay, but Solanke's had one good season and they spent 65 mil. I think the state of number 9s worldwide right now is terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
I think now we have to accept that, though. I think
100%. That's it.
You get goals. You get goals for everywhere else. I don't think everyone's sole focus is now on a number 9 like that.
Yeah, but Arsenal can Arsenal win the league? So if Haaland stays fit for the whole season, Man City win the league regardless. Because
I don't think Haaland's the difference.
I think he is
in that way, because Man City were winning the league prior to Haaland.
Yeah, but if you look at it now, I know they were winning to prior Haaland, but I feel past Man City sides were better than this current Man City side. So if you look at the side with the Agueros, the peak Agueros, and when De Bruyne was at his best, Bernardo Silva, Fernandinho, Kompany at the back, I think that team's better than this team.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. So if you look at this team now, for me, is that if you look at all the other players in the Premier League, who's guaranteed to score 25 plus? Haaland and who else? Maybe Salah. And after that, for me, there is nobody else who you're guaranteed could bag 25 league goals. You're thinking Unai, maybe Jota if he stayed fit, or Isak. But there's only 2 players, and maybe one at this current time, who's guaranteed to score them type of numbers. Where back in the day, 4 or 5 men were getting 25 plus.
One at his time, but Kane was always the...
Yeah, but he's not here. That's what I'm saying. He's not here. I'm talking about right now in the Premier League, apart from Haaland, who could you put your hat on who's going to bag 25 league goals in the Premier? And that's why I think he's the difference. There's no one. There's only Salah. Nobody else. Nobody else. And that's what I was talking about. If you look at the landscape of all the other players, to me, Haaland is the difference. That's why it's Man City to lose, because he stays fit for 90% of the season. He bags 35 minimum.
I don't know. I don't know how much I agree. Just solely because they was winning it prior to him. If he was in a situation where it was, let's say, we're using Arsenal as an example, and Arsenal was to sign a number 9, and he ended up taking them to winning the title, and he done that consistently, then I understand it. I get what you're saying in terms of it's a cheat code because now Haaland's at Man City, and he's probably one of the most prolific strikers in the world. Me saying that, I'm not his biggest fan anyway, because I've seen goal scorers like that prior. Do I think he's all-round game? But that's a separate conversation. So we can pick holes in him, because we have done last year where we pick holes in his all-round game, but he still managed to score goals just because he's at Man City.
I don't believe that. I think if he's at Man United, he scores the same amount of goals. I think he's at Liverpool. Maybe not the same amount of goals, but he gets more goals than everybody else. Because I look at him compared to all the other strikers, he's a killer in front of goal. The goal he scored against Chelsea, it looked easy. I think apart from Isak, no other number 9 in this league could have scored that goal.
Well, I think Sturridge explained it well when Sturridge was on it, and he said how hard it was to score a goal like that, especially giving him the arm.
Yeah.
Right to left.
And then dink it over the goalkeeper. And he hardly touched the ball, and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that's Haaland, though. To be a striker of that caliber, and the patience is the main virtue of the game, because you're not going to be involved in the game a lot of the time. Especially at Man City, he doesn't need to be involved in the game.
But strikers never used to be involved in the game as much. It's weird. Like, we've got into this world that you want your strikers to do everything. Harry Kane, to me, does too much. Why do you want a guy to come deep and spraying balls about? Just stay in the box and score goals. That's your job. You're number 9. Why are you coming deep? I'll get my number 10 to do that. Like we've got into this mantra where you want him to do loads of stuff. I just want him to hold the ball up, run in behind, when the ball's out wide, get in the box and score. That is it.
But we spoke about that they're a distraction now. They're used as a foil, a distraction, and it's how you change that. I think that.
But bar Man City though, Tobias. Man
You've
City
got
though,
to
he's
work.
not a distraction.
But if you're saying that there's a lack of number 9s out there anyway, which we're saying, then how do you counteract that? You've got to use them as a foil of some sort and use the goal scorers you have in your team. So what if you haven't got the number 9s there? What are you meant to do?
But I just think that, like I said, I think what was happening is that the inside forwards were becoming like basically the number 9s, and I think teams have kind of shut that way of playing football now. You're not seeing a lot of inside forwards are not going to get the numbers that they used to because a lot of teams are doubling up, and that's what. To me, Man City have gone back to old school. If you look at the two wide players, there's Savinho on one side, Doku on the other, a killer through the middle. The others, if Savinho and Doku will play, they'll maybe get 10, 12 goals, but they're going to create so much chances for Haaland, who is the killer, who will get the bulk of the goals. And that's how it used to be. And I think that's what's going to happen again.
But that's why teams have tried to fork out on the strikers. That's why Solanke's got bought for 65 mil. That's why Nunes got bought for 60 plus mil. Højlund 60 plus mil because they're trying to find that striker. But if they're not out there, they're taking punts. So the next one that's meant to be, who's been spoken about for the longest time, is Sesko. And Sesko, look at Sesko. Sesko's not clinical like that. It's all hope. It's all they're preying on the next man to come through.
So why is the current crop of strikers so bad then?
It all bears down on youngsters, doesn't it? Like I think growing up, now I think youngsters want to be involved, and they probably lack the attention span to be able to be bored for the 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's true.
Like a goalkeepers, you can probably say the same about goalkeepers now.
Yeah, they're not the best.
You know, to especially at a high level goalkeeper when you've just probably got to make 2 saves a game, that makes a difference. And there's a lot of things. I think there's a lot more emphasis on touching the ball now, being involved in the ball, and it's like it's a weird one. I just go back to, I think they're more wanting to do. They don't want to. You know what it is? It is they want to score the spectaculars. No one wants to score the tap-ins. That's why, hence the reason we cut in so much and we shoot, and we always want to bend it top ins. No one wants to score the scrappy goals, score the whistle goals that he scored on the weekend.
I was watching something on Andy Cole, and he was talking about strikers, and he said, what strikers don't do now, he said, they're not willing to run in behind no more. He says, it's like they don't want to do the hard yards to make runs in behind and make selfish runs in behind to create space. Everybody wants to come to feet. And he says, that's how I used to get my goals. I want to get on the last man, make runs in behind, and I've got players who pick me out. Even if I don't get the ball. No centre-half wants to be turning and running towards his goal. Facts. You played centre-back. You don't want to do that. You want everything in front of you all day.
But that's why, come on, that's how Ben used to play. That's how Ben used to score.
Yeah, that's why he used to score so many goals.
Defoe,
same thing.
Very, very similar. And Vardy. Vardy's
Vardy's still 37, still getting goals.
Last man, he doesn't want to get involved in the game.
He was getting behind.
Channels. So yeah, you have got that thing where people want to come feet, people want to show what they can do, ability on the ball all the time, instead of not wanting to score the scrappy goal. Scrappy goals aren't sexy anymore. Do you know, like people, it's like you can't claim a scrappy goal.
Like I said, for the last bit, I know we're digressing. Even like, for example, you look at Salah's numbers over the years. Like I've always said, if you watch football, Salah's not the best dribbler. He's a terrible dribbler. But what he's so great at is maybe one of the best ever in the Premier League is making runs in behind. And that's how he scores goals. If you look, even against the game against Ipswich, the amount of runs he was making in behind the fullback,
come on,
out
man.
to in.
Back, bro.
I know, but it just,
Like,
I know,
how many warnings?
No, bro, forget the left back. I'm just saying, for example, if you look at his goals in general, even when Salah was at his peak, making runs with even when Mane was there, making runs in behind it. When you even used to have your front three, when you had Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo, yes, they would play intricate 1-2s and balls around the corner. But how many runs did Tevez or Rooney or Ronaldo making runs in behind and just players picking them out? The amount of runs in transition, they will count on a counter attack, running in behind.
Yeah, but then does that not fall back to the stats game now? Does that not fall back to the midfielders being too scared to
Nah,
leave the ball?
bruv. No, I can't. I'm not having that. I'm not. Man said it's scared to play a pass, forward pass, or rather play it sideways now, man. That can't be that, bro.
Bro,
I'm
think about it. How many times you're going to see a man make a run and they don't get the ball?
Bro, I don't see a lot of man make runs after runs. Like, not Salah's the only one for me. If I look at the wide players who make the wide forwards, he's the only one. All of them come to feet. And even Saka, he comes to feet. All of them, no one runs in behind. And as I said, when I even watch Saka, I said, if he can make runs in behind as well with his ability, guy's a killer. But the rest of them, they're running behind. Look at Rashford. Rashford's got all the athleticism in the world. But he's not making runs, darting runs in behind.
Yeah, because Rashford thinks he's skillful. Someone's told him he's skillful. And he wants to get the ball to feet and drop a step over. He's, like instead of using what you have certain time, people want to always be something different.
No, it's mad. It's a different game, but
by the way, how did Enzo ended up being captain?
No, captain. That was a lot. You can't. Well, that sums up Chelsea Football Club right there. That is. I see him come out and I said he's the captain. I said you can't make this shit up.
You definitely can't afford. And what did I say to you? They're going to be nine. He's not going to get nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
To be honest, it's died a slow death.
Yeah, it's dead now. No one even talks about
it. He's taking pictures like with the man them now. He's involved, he's probably gonna have a picture with him eating jello or something. I don't know.
You can't make this shit up.
I'm telling you.
Oh mate, that is funny. Guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to Bias Last Word.
I ain't even got one for you today, man. I ain't even.
10 again.
10 I was gonna say that, but I was like, nah, that's the haters, man. They slot out, man. But yeah.
We are out.